Welcome to Puerto del Sol! This is my new series where I'll be creating a huge theme park located in the Mediterranean region of Spain. Every park starts with an entrance, so let's create one today. I really hope you guys will enjoy the new Planet Coaster 2 series on my channel. Hello guys, this is Cesar Creates and welcome back to my channel. And welcome to Puerto del Sol. This is a new series on my channel where we'll be building a huge theme park in Planet Coaster 2. But before we'll talk more about my idea for this new park, you might be wondering, why is this guy playing this game? This was meant to be released on the 6th of November, and you'll be totally right. I was lucky enough to get an early access to this game. Frontier sent me a code about a week ago, so I could check it out and record some videos for you guys. So first of all, huge thanks to Frontier for giving me the early access. It was actually my first ever early access to the full game released by Frontier, so this means really the world to me. Before I only got early access to the DLCs, and yeah, first of all, it was super exciting, but then I had to figure out what I should record during the early access time, and I decided to do what I do best. Just go and build. So if you are looking for some roller coaster showcases or anything like that, I'm sure that a lot of different content creators will have you covered. But I decided to use my time to start a new park that will be building on my channel for probably quite some time, because I want this to be a very big park. I have so much to tell you in this video about my experience of playing this game for a week, about the plans for this park, about the things that I love about the Planet Coaster 2 and the things that I have slight issues with. So let's dive into it, because even though this video is a bit longer, I'm a bit concerned that I won't be able to fit all that in one video. So let's start with talking what the hell will Cesar do with Planet Coaster 2, because I'm sure that a lot of you guys are wondering, especially that I had my doubts about playing this game as a total zoo nerd and zoo guy, an animal lover that comes straight from playing Planet Zoo for so many years to suddenly building theme parks. But I must say that I really fell in love with Planet Coaster 2 after spending 1 week playing it, with some breaks, of course. I wasn't playing for 1 week straight, but I really want this to be one of the main features on my channel for sure. Okay, so why Puerto del Sol and what is my idea? So basically, before starting a park or starting a zoo in Planet Zoo, you had to find a general idea of what you want. When it comes to Planet Coaster 2, it can be like a water park, it can be like an old school, like sort of like an amusement park, it can be a small like roadside, I don't know, a theme park with a lot of like wooden coasters. It is like a bit vintage one. There's so many ideas. But you should have one before starting the park. And what really inspired me was the Mediterranean biome in Planet Coaster 2. So because I thought it would be a bit easier for me, I wanted to make this park inspired by some of the parks that I already visited during my life. So I've been actually twice to a park called Portaventura. It is next to Barcelona in Spain. So I immediately went to Google Maps. I checked if there's a lot of inspiration, if you can go around this park, and you actually can. So I thought, okay, this is perfect. And this is not only perfect because I've been there, but it is perfect because it features both the theme park when it comes to all the coasters, all the different rides, flat rides and stuff, but it also has a full water park. And this is something that I really wanted to combine, because of course I want to use this whole thing about the Planet Coaster 2, make a splash and stuff, and build those water pools and build the flumes and everything. So this will allow me to do both build the coasters and also build a water park inside of our big Puerto del Sol. Of course, this won't be a total recreation of the Portaventura from Spain. I took a very massive inspiration for the entrance area, but as we'll go on with the builds. I will probably go to different parks and inspire this around different parks from the whole world, just as we are doing in the Elm Hill City Zoo. So if you guys have been watching my videos covering that zoo, you probably know what I am talking about. We started really inspiring the zoo around Berlin Zoo, and then we just went for different zoos and stuff. But yeah, this is my general idea, and I think that this way it will be so much easier for me, especially with zero experience in building themed parks. The park located in the Mediterranean area of Europe, I feel like is just perfect for this game, because realistically we can have those outdoor pools because the weather is amazing. It is amazing almost during the whole year, so the guests will be able to use the outdoor pools. There's not much rain, so I thought that this is just perfect, because I also considered building this park in the like temperate biome and located also in the Elm Hill City, so have the Elm Hill City Zoo and the Elm Hill City, I don't know, theme park or anything. But then I thought, okay, that is a cool idea for like a only like coaster park, or doing something that I also thought about doing. So if you guys know, for example, of a tropical island near to Berlin, so this is like a whole water park that is inside of the huge building, basically because of the water. But I thought that for a first build in this game, that would probably be quite hard to build. Maybe I just gave you an idea for your park, maybe I gave a different content creator an idea for their park, and that is totally okay, but I think that building something like that would also be amazing. But yeah, I decided to go for the Mediterranean park, and I hope you guys will like the idea. The idea is basically to build a huge park based around the Mediterranean like architecture and those small little houses that you will see me building later, but of course to do different section inside of the park with different theming. I for sure want to do like a Western theme, even though we don't have it in the game, but I think that it will be added with some of the future DLCs. Like, they need to add it, right? I also want to have like a resort themed area for sure, like a more tropical one. I really would love to build like a Chinese or Asian area, just as they have in Port Aventura in Barcelona, like near Barcelona. They have this like Shambhala or something like this coaster that was really like, I thought that I will faint on this. It is very like fast, high, and I don't know, just extreme for me. So I really want to build something like that as well, and use a lot of water, a lot of not only swimming pools, but also like natural bodies of water, or like some semi-natural like ponds, rivers throughout this park. So this is my idea, and I hope you guys will join me on this journey of building this park, because it is so exciting. I loved building the entrance that you guys can see on the screen. I will talk more about this in detail in a second, but it was quite both a really lovely experience checking out Planet Coaster 2 and all the possibilities of this game. Like the scaling, for example, is so incredible. Oh my god. But also it was a huge struggle to build. Like, building all this in here took me around like, I don't know, 20 something hours, while I feel like in Planet Zoo it will take me like, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 or something like this. This is because I didn't know the pieces in Planet Coaster 2. I was constantly doing mistakes, clicking somewhere, like editing this speed build. It was such a pain, because I just had to like delete a lot of things when I was just, I didn't know what I was doing even. I was just, you know, clicking constantly in the wrong places. Also, when you start playing this game and you like had this experience of playing, for example, Planet Zoo for so many years, I would advise you to like go to the settings and change the shortcuts for the keys a little bit to adjust them to what you were like used to from Planet Zoo, because I used to make so many stupid mistakes that it was so a bit annoying in the at the first, but then when I adjusted everything, then it was so much easier and so much quicker. I also thought that it would be nice to actually introduce myself a bit. Maybe I should do it at the beginning of the video, video, but there were some more exciting things that I wanted to share. For example, the idea for the park. Because maybe there are some people who just found this video and found my channel because of the release of Planet Coaster 2. So I'm so glad if you are one of those persons. Hello, it's so good to have you here. My name is Cesar, and I am trying to use my creativity to build some, let's say, realistic things in games like Planet Zoo, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and now Planet Coaster 2. I'm a total sandbox player. It is not that I don't enjoy franchise or any other modes of the game, but I love the freedom of the creativity, and I play this game mainly for the looks and for building. But who knows, maybe in the future I will start a franchise mode series. I tried that once and it didn't quite work out the way I wanted, so I thought I'm shining more in sandbox mode and in creative builds, so this is what I'm sticking to, but who knows? What can I say more about me? My real name is Cesar, or a short name is Czarek. I come from Poland. My Polish name Cesar can be translated to Cesar. That's how I got my YouTube name. I decided to go for Cesar because the spelling with the additional A just sort of reminds me of the Caesar salad. And also I really loved watching a guy named Caesar Milan, and he was a dog whisperer or Animal Planet, so I sort of inspired my name around him, and creates just happened. I just had really hard time of, coming up with the name on my channel, and I knew that I will be like creating things on my channel, so that's how I got my name, Cesar Creates. YouTube is not my full job. Normally I work for real estate in sales and marketing. You guys often ask me if I'm an architect. I am not, but I had some things in common with architecture in my job. I basically work a lot with architects. Maybe I don't design the buildings myself, but a big part of my job is like keeping up with trends for the buildings, what materials are trendy, how the common spaces in buildings should look, like corridors, I don't know, elevators, stairs, everything. So yeah, my job is rather creative when it comes to this, and also marketing, and also as a salesperson. If you guys have been working in this field, you know that you also have to be sometimes very creative when it comes to talking to people. But why I started my channel? It was because from the very young age, I was super interested with animals. I was the animal nerd from as long as I remember. I loved reading about them. I had so many of those children books about animals. Then the children books turned into encyclopedias and stuff like this. My house was always full of animals because as a child, I always found a way to convince my parents and grandparents to buy me a dog, a hamster, a fish, or I don't know, even a gecko. So I had a lot of different animals during my life. But one of my favorite things that I always loved was playing Zoo Tycoon. It was first the Zoo Tycoon 1. It was actually released when I was 8 years old, so we can sort of count how old I am. Very old. And I loved this game so much because of the animals and my love for animals and zoos. So I played this and all the expansions and stuff. After this, it was of course Zoo Tycoon 2 that I loved so much. Oh my god, I don't know how many hours I've spent playing this game. And after that, I had a huge break from gaming. I wouldn't call myself a gamer even now. I had a huge break from games basically in my teenager years, like early 20s and stuff. And then Planet Zoo got announced, and I don't even know how I found out about this game. I think I found a trailer or this first official trailer for the game somewhere, and I constantly fell in love. I just had to play it after the years of playing Zoo Tycoon. And in preparation for the release, I started to watch other content creators who were covering the games and the news, mainly the LA Designer, Rudy Renkamel. It was also Geekism, Best in Slot, I think. So this is how sort of my Planet Zoo thing started. And of course, when the game was released, I bought it and I played it constantly for a year year, I think. It was also a pandemic, so it was a perfect time to just enjoy the game in my home. So I had a lot. I actually wasn't like bored during the pandemic at all, because I was like constantly playing Planet Zoo and also watching other players play this game and build and upload their videos, and sort of being like a silent member of the Planet Zoo community. I was on the forums and everything, but I didn't upload anything. And after like a year, actually my partner told me while I was watching one of the videos someone uploaded to YouTube, like, hey, I think that you can build better in this game from what I saw. Why won't you record a video? And I was like, yeah. Why not? Maybe let's try this. Maybe I will like it. Maybe people will actually watch it. I know something about zoos. I think so. I've been to so many of them. Let's try this. If I wouldn't like it, I would just delete the channel and that will be it. So this is how to make the long story short, this is how the Elm Hill City Zoo started. After one or two like videos, I had so many positive comments and feedback from you guys, even though my English, if you'll watch this first video, it was so terrible. Oh my god, it's so cringy to me to watch that. But since then I was able to grow so much. Also because of the first comments that were so amazing, I decided to go on and to upload those videos. And after I think 3 or 4 videos of the Elm Hill City Zoo, Planet Zoo actually showcased one of my videos, the first one. So I was like, oh my god, so I am really doing something good. And this is how we are right now, and everything that happened through this time is a history, and is 36,000 subscribers that I was able to gain during that time. So that is absolutely amazing and so incredible to me, that, you know, from just hobby, it is like my second job that I'm so much enjoying. And yeah, that has been my little story. So I hope that you know a bit more about me. But let's go back to the build and let me tell you about everything that happened on the screen, because I'm sure that you guys are already like, okay guys, stop talking, tell us what you've built in here, because we don't quite understand this. Okay, so we started with adding some paths, and let me tell you, the pathing system in Planet Coaster 2 is a huge step up from Planet Zoo, but you'll have to go in and try it yourself and do it with some patience and some maybe distance, because for me, at first, it was so weird and so overwhelming. I was a bit like frustrated even, because I couldn't make the path the way I wanted it to look. So you'll have to just, you know, get used to it. But after you will get used to it, it is actually incredible. The things that you can do with the paths, the way that you can combine different textures of the path, the fact that the path is recolorable like most of them is so amazing. The draw tool, the thing that you can adjust the edges of the path. Oh my god, you have so many different like opportunities and different ways of using the path. The main struggle for me was using the path on an uneven terrain, just because you cannot like do all the things you did with Planet Zoo, like flattening the terrain. The game like sort of decides for you what it will do with the terrain, so it was quite weird for me, and this is where all the like frustration for me was. So you won't see that in the video, but I struggled a lot with the part of the path that is just behind the entrance, where I would do like a little slope going up, because I didn't want to make this park flat. I think that it is a big mistake that you can do while starting, just making it flat. So in the end, you are left with quite a boring like a layout of the park, and I definitely don't want that. But yeah, working with paths on the elevation here is quite like difficult, I think. But overall, I really love the pathing system in this game. One thing I wish that they will change about the path is the curbs, because you cannot get rid of them, just like in Planet Zoo. I don't know why. I would love to have them without the curbs, but I hope that it will be updated in the future, because I don't see the reason why we wouldn't be able to use them without the curbs. So the whole layout of the entrance area is a bit copied from Port Aventura. There's also a big round fountain in the front of the entrance, so I also really wanted to do something like that, as you guys saw. I added a big Planet Coaster 2 logo in there, even though I will create a our park logo as well, but I just wanted to have a nice like feature in the middle of the fountain. And I also created sort of like an entrance buildings or entrance structure, because it is not like a full-on building. Those are just like those ticket booths that the guests will go in and just buy the tickets, and then they will just scan their tickets like sort of up in the little town that we'll be building. But this will be in the second episode, and this is maybe not a grand big entrance. This is not something very impressive, but it was built. I think that Port Aventura was actually opened in 1995, and it wasn't like updated or redone since then. I mean the entrance. So I think that for those vibes, it is quite nice. This is the first thing that I actually built in this game, and I am quite proud, even though it is maybe a bit like simple, but also it took me so long because basically I don't know the pieces in Planet Coaster 2, so I had to look for them for a long time. I am a bit surprised about some things when it comes to building. For example, why there are no glass pieces in this game? Like, come on! I know that it will be probably frustrating for people who would like to build some more modern buildings. You basically don't have any like glass pieces, like transparent glass. You only have windows like that you can place on buildings, but you don't have any glass. Like, come on, that was a bit surprising to me. Also, I had a big issue with the Z fighting fix, basically. So if you've been playing Planet games with the modular buildings, you know if you'll place one thing like directly into another, like two, for example, plaster pieces, they'll just do this flickering because they are inside of each other, and you should move them just one pixel, and they will stop this. This is what I am used to from, you know, Planet Zoo, but in here it is so difficult to actually move them just ever so slightly, like one piece from another, because in Planet Zoo I mastered this, so you cannot really see that. It is so like close to each other that there's only like this 1 pixel difference, and it stops doing this. And in here I couldn't do that. So in certain angles you can actually see that the pieces in the walls are not aligned like perfectly, because there's this like little bump there, and that was quite frustrating. I don't know, maybe it's just an setting of my mouse that it is too sensitive, but I don't know. But also Planet Zoo over time added this like sensitivity that you can like adjust. I don't really remember how it is called, but you can like, you know, slide a slider, and then the pieces are sort of moving like a bit slower when you are just moving them, and it was so useful for more detailed work. But in here you don't have it, so I just had an issue with that, and I just wanted to tell you, because you will probably see that some walls are not like perfectly aligned in this build. But on the other hand, scaling is just like so incredible. Oh my god, it opens up so many possibilities for using those pieces, for finding a perfectly suiting piece in a certain like area or place in your build. This is such a game changer. Unfortunately, you cannot scale the grid pieces, so if like walls are, you know, just placed on the grid, you cannot scale them, but all the other pieces are, and it also depends on the piece of how much you can scale the piece. But overall, this is so incredible and so helpful, that I just love it, especially for example the nature work that we've been doing here, like just scaling the trees a little bit and rotating them makes them look like they are totally different trees. So this is so incredible. Oh my god. So we've been talking about some issues, so maybe let's continue this topic, because as much as I love this game, I really enjoyed building this, and I think that it turned out even better than I expected. Like, it is such a step up from my first Planet Zoo video, like this first entrance that I've built on my channel. This one is so much better, but I still have some little issues that a lot of them are coming from, you know, years of playing Planet Zoo and the things that work for this game so well, and that this one is lacking. And sometimes it's a bit like surprising that they didn't include those things. But first of all, the colors. I don't know, Planet Zoo had such an amazing color palette that it made things look a bit more like realistic, while in here the colors are very saturated, look a bit more like cartoony. Maybe it was used to, you know, sort of make the building pieces more like suiting for actual humans in this game that are very like cartoony, but I must say that I really prefer the colors of Planet Zoo in here. Things are a bit too saturated for my liking, and there's also a lot of things missing that we are sort of used to. For example, ATMs. I don't know why they don't have them in this game. I really wanted to use them around the entrance, but we don't have them unfortunately. Maybe they will be added, we don't know. We don't have like curbs and barriers that were also added to Planet Zoo and would be so useful for, you know, just doing the paths not too perfectly, like just going through like fountains or I don't know, stuff like this, and then just surrounding them with the barriers so the guests cannot walk through them like I used to do in Planet Zoo. That was so amazing. I don't know why, but they also didn't include the billboards in Planet Coaster 2, just as we had in Planet Zoo for those custom signs. They are so amazing and would be also useful for this game, I think. I already talked about the lack of the glass pieces, but another G word, grass. There is no grass pieces, just as the buffalo grass in Planet Zoo, so I had to come up with the grass myself using different plants. And also another thing is that when it comes to placing plants, we don't have the random rotation in here, which was also very surprising because you need to click every time on Z or any other key, so you have to, you know, adjust that manually. Placement after placement, very weird. Also when it comes to placing decals and stuff like that, the random rotation is just so useful. And also the thing that made our life so much easier in Planet Zoo was that when you were placing, for example, in one group like different, let's just say plaster pieces, and you just, you know, set the color of the plaster piece to, for example, I don't know, black. And after placing several of those plaster pieces in black color, you decided you needed a smaller one. So you just go to, you know, the menu, you are looking for a smaller one. And when you click on it, it also appears in black color on your screen because you use them in black, even though you are using it in different like shape or size or anything. And in here, actually this color doesn't transfer. So if you will be using like the one piece in the same color, like copying it, and you'll go for the same piece from the same family or for the same group, and just bring it to your screen, the color will simply reset and you'll have to adjust it manually. So it makes building a bit more like time consuming because of that, because you have to adjust it every time. But I think that it should be like an easy fix, so I hope that it will be changed in the future. On the other hand side, the terrain textures are incredible and terraforming is a bit more smooth, I think, that in Planet Zoo. So I really love this aspect of the terrain, and also the plants are quite nice, but I still hope that we had a bigger selection of them, but they will probably be added with next DLCs and stuff. Okay, so after creating the entrance or the ticket booths, I went on and added a lot of different details around the entrance. So I added the nature around the paths, so I added a lot of different bushes, trees, keeping to this Mediterranean theme, so there's a lot of drier things, also those cypress trees that are so characteristic for that region. And I also created my own rock piles using the Mediterranean rocks, and I added some like theming to the entrance with those, I don't know, those little ruins in there with some vending machines. And then it was time to build like a first proper building inside of our park. So basically when you are entering the Port Aventura, you are going through like a little Mediterranean town that leads you to the main part of the park, where there's this big lake and stuff. And this is something that I really wanted to recreate because I think it was so charming. So we'll have a lot of different buildings, and in there you have things like restaurants, toilets, of course some toy stores, doors and stuff, so this is something that we'll go for. I already added the toilet, I added some vending machine, I added like just memento, so the gift shop, and also an information center for our guests. So in the future episodes we'll be definitely expanding this town. I don't know if I will be showing you building all those like little houses. They surprisingly take a long time to build, but I think that they look absolutely phenomenal. And in here I also didn't show you building all of them, I only showed you one that was most detailed, but I did very similar things for other ones, so I'm sure you will be able to figure out how I've built them. In the end I created a gate that will lead to our water park, but this is something for the future. And there will be some other things that I didn't show you in the speedboat that will be showcased in the cinematic shots by the end of the video, so definitely stay tuned for those. I will basically walk you through all the things that we built in today's first episode of Puerto del Sol. And also I didn't tell you about the name. So I thought that Port Aventura is such an amazing name, like it was just brilliant idea to call the park like this. This is basically Port Adventure in English. So I decided, I don't know why they use port in Spain, but I decided to go for Puerto, which is also port. But I decided to go for like sunny port or something like that, so Puerto del Sol, because we'll have an amazing weather in here. It just sounds like very holiday-ish, very like resorty. So I think it's a perfect name for a park that will feature a big water park in there with a lot of swimming pools, sunbeds, like flumes and stuff, but also it is a cool name for a themed park with roller coaster and stuff. So this was my idea, and this is basically all when it comes to the speedboat. So let's meet in a second so I can show you everything that I've built in the first episode of Puerto del Sol. I can honestly say that this build has turned out way better than I have ever expected. As you guys know, I had my doubts before starting to play Planet Coaster 2 because I am simply a zoo guy and I don't know much about the theme park, but if we'll continue in this way, I think that will be good because I really like what I was able to create in the first episode. My favorite thing about today's episode are probably those Mediterranean-inspired buildings and this street that we created. I think it turned out really well. The plants that are available in Planet Coaster 2 I think are just perfect for the Mediterranean biome. I just wish that they weren't moving so much because I think that this is a bit too extreme, or maybe I decided to build my park in a very windy place. I don't know, but there is something off about this. This is basically the beginning of the small town that we'll create in here. So we'll build more of those tiny little town houses and buildings very similar to those ones. Very Spanish and Mediterranean inspired. I cannot wait to see how the whole finished town will look. But besides that, we'll of course go for some coasters soon. And I cannot wait to start building the actual water park that we'll also do, I hope, quite soon. But I really want to bring in some attractions to the park, so in the next episode I think that we'll be able to add our first coaster. I am very excited for this and I hope that I will be able to actually make it and to figure it out how to do it. I think that by now we'll have tons of different tutorials on YouTube, right? I really hope you guys enjoyed this first episode of Puerto del Sol, as it is the first episode of this series and of Planet Coaster 2 on my channel. Your feedback would be greatly appreciated. I really would like to hear what you guys think about this. Is it good? Is it not good? Should I improve something? Just let me know down in the comments what you think about today's build. If you enjoyed the video and would like to see more of Planet Coaster 2 on my channel, please consider to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video like this, and give this video a big thumbs up down below. If you like to support the channel a little bit extra, you can do it with the join button down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!